Welcome to Crafted Commentary. Just a couple friends in San Diego having a few beers, talking about what's rad and what's sad in the world we live in. With a rotating list of fresh beer and good buddies, Crafted Commentary will be anything but stale. Welcome to Crafted Commentary, Episode 2. The theme for this episode is all about skiing, snowboarding, and beers of Vermont, or New England, with my good buddy Justin. Justin and I have known each other for about 12 or 14 years now, and we enjoy skiing, snowboarding, drinking beer together, surfing, stuff like that. Before we get into it, I have to tell you why this was delayed. We actually shot the episode in November of 2018, and right after that, work got very busy in a very good way, but that meant the podcast had to be delayed, unfortunately. So some show notes before we get into it. A lot of these beers were sent to us by our friends at Rome Snowboards, primarily Dan Sullivan and Josh Reed. When we shot the episode, we didn't know, because we don't have a crystal ball, that Rome was going to be sold last season. If you follow snowboarding, that's a big deal. If you don't, it's not. Amazing people still work there. And they were actually my first client at Remedy Communications. Still have a soft place in my heart for those guys. They make amazing product. Also, some of the beers, primarily some extra Heady Toppers, were sent to me by my very good friend Yui back in New Jersey. So this one is also for you, Dogger. Outside of that, we talk a lot about Mammoth Mountain. We talk about après-ski. And we mention multiple times one of our favorite bartenders, Kyler. Unfortunately, the first time we mentioned him, I call him Tyler. That is completely my bad. I call him Kyler later in the episode, and we will link to his Instagram. He does amazing outdoor photography as a passion. Those will be in the show notes. So outside of that, this episode dives into, besides skiing and snowboarding, some of the great things about modern technology, like the Heady Topper Spotter Twitter account, so you can find Heady Topper online in your neighborhood. Easier said than done. We also talk about the garbage that comes along with modern technology. It's not always a good thing, in our opinion. On the beer front, like I said, we talk about Alchemist Heady Topper. Does it live up to the hype? I'll let you know later. We also drink some of Lawson's finest liquids. And we have a beer I've never heard of before by Frost Beer Works, also in New England. And those guys are awesome. So I believe that is it. Thank you for bearing with us. I know you've been waiting patiently for episode 2 to come out. I promise it won't be another 6 months for episode 3. Cheers.
Yeah! That's the only way to know.
It's for another Crafted Commentary.
We can deal with that one tonight.
We'll talk about technology. You are in for a treat.
Woo! Ollie, I like treats. Do you like treats?
Oh boy, Ben.
Vermont beers.
Vermont beers.
Where am I sitting? Oh, speaking of, we gotta order more of those bad boys.
Starting with a sipping, ease into it beer. This is
a glass of water beer?
A glass of water.
It's my favorite kind of beer.
But this is a Belching Beaver, Easy Beaver.
Alright.
Cheers, man. How are you?
Hi.
You're the first official guest on Crafted Commentary. You are. We've got other episodes in the bag, but you're the first live person. What are you looking at?
Got crew back there.
You're the worst. You're the first and the worst guest on Crafted Commentary. The best podcast.
Do I fit in the frame? You gotta seat someone in here, make sure you line up the shot maybe?
It's all on audio.
Just want to make sure I fit.
But I was telling the audience, I've known you for 12 years, 14 years? How long?
Yeah. Well, I've been in San Diego now since 2005.
So that's
13 years. Right, so yeah. We're on to 14 years.
Wow.
It's all I gotta be down here is the entertainment. I feel like this is a password swordfish.
For those that can't see, Ollie, come here. You want to get up? Boy. All right, Ollie's gonna be on the podcast too. This is unanticipated.
Cool, we got the table mics, we got the room mics.
Oh, we got tons of mics.
Who taught you to do all this?
The internet. Which gets into what we're going to talk about later too.
Love the internet.
So, a couple things. One, you told me about what beers you like. Honestly, dude, when I go to your house, you've always got a good stock of beers.
Right.
Until people come over.
Yeah, I don't have any today.
And to take them, but
yeah, that's why I'm here.
If I could open your door, What would be in there?
If you opened my door this morning,
Not this. Oh, okay. Wait, you drank this morning?
there would have been a new fresh 4-pack of Abnormal Brewing New Money.
What is that?
It has a Bitcoin logo on it. It's a different beer every time they make it, but it's their new money. It's always their new batch of.
Do you gotta pay for it with
hops.
Bitcoin?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
They just use that as like a call out to like new money is their throw out there. But I gave it to my gardeners.
Do your gardeners get paid in Bitcoin?
No, cash money.
And just bonus beer?
And bonus beer. Every time if I'm home, I'll dig out something of the garage or my fridge to give to them.
I'd mow you along for beer.
I get them extra hats, extra gloves.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, man. They're out there. Like this time of year, it's not so bad, but like earlier in the summer when it's hot as heck out there, I feel so bad for them. I'm like frozen Gatorade bottles and big, like those straw hats. Love them.
You're an amazing man.
Hook them up.
And that gets into something else I want to talk about too later. Not your amazingness and not my heavy ass small dog. Besides your love of craft beer, today's theme is beers of Vermont. And I don't know if you've ever gone skiing in Vermont, but as I told the audience earlier, you and I, besides having worked together and just being friends, we like to do stuff together. We like to surf, or we used to. We like to go to Mammoth, and you like to mountain bike a lot. We like to earn our beers.
Earn them.
And I feel like that's important.
Absolutely.
Like, it tastes better if you earned it.
It's like getting a medal.
Yeah.
For running.
Like après.
Why would you get a medal for running if you didn't actually run?
Totally. You know, après beers taste so good, right? So much better. You go to the Clock Tower. Shout out to Tyler, who is not there anymore. Kyler. Jesus, I said Tyler. My bad.
He might be there on the season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's just not there on the summer.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's his, like, he makes...
We'll Instagram Kyler. So the beers we got, they're from Vermont. So I want to let you know what they were before we start, because some of them are pretty exciting. Better off, how did I get these? So I got an email from a former client at Rome Snowboards, Dan Sully Sullivan. This is not going to work with the dog.
Yeah, Ollie. Go lay down.
And he asked me what my address was. And I'm thinking, awesome.
You gave him your P.O. box, right? Because don't give out your address to strangers.
No, I know the guy.
It's the internet.
Yeah, true. Who knows? He could be hacked.
Get under control.
I'm thinking, cool. Dan's going to send me a big box of snowboards. A couple weeks go by. A very heavy box shows up. But it's only this big. And
lead.
Yeah. I don't have any idea how they would have put all the snowboards.
Santa came early. Brought you lead.
So Josh Reed, who co-owns Rome Snowboards and is technically, I guess, Dan's boss and my former client, told him at the podcast, and he hooked it up with some Vermont goodness. So there's a few things on deck coming. Oh, and I should say that my friend Yui sent us some too.
What beer is this again?
Oh, this is just a Belching Beaver.
Oh, okay. I thought this was Vermont. I was like, I heard a Vermont name earlier.
This is to get us
This is
into
the sipping beer.
So
on the record, I have been to Vermont before.
Have you?
Yes, I have. I spent a spring break there once, skiing at Mount Snow.
It was still open?
Well, spring break in Rochester Institute of Technology at the time was in February because we were on trimesters.
Good point. Good point.
Good old days.
Yes. I actually been to Killington, I think, for spring break as well, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It was the era, I don't know if they still do that, where you can only ever have one drink in front of you. So if you're at the bar and you order a shot, the bartender puts the beer under the bar, they serve you your shot, you take it, they give you your beer.
I know as late as 2003, they were still doing that. And I will ask you, Reynolds, to...
2003 was probably the last time I was there. Maybe 2004. Yeah.
When did you move there?
2005.
Okay, yeah. About the same time. All right, cool. So the beers that Dan sent, and Yui, because he sent duplicates, are incredible.
Yui the mountain biker?
Yes.
I love that guy.
He's a great guy. So the first one that we're going to try is the Alchemist Heady Topper.
Oh, nice.
Do you know about this beer?
I am not familiar.
It is what Men's Journal called America's most coveted beer in 2015.
Whew. What's your most coveted thing?
Oh, gosh. That's a loaded question. We're going to let that go.
Let's say, what's your most coveted thing visible in this?
In this room?
Yeah.
My toss up between Ollie Dog and the two cats.
Good thing they don't understand, yeah.
Or my friendship with you. While I grab this beer, why don't you read the description they gave?
All
That's
right.
pretty interesting.
I like that. Men's Journal said, it sits among beer geek legends like Hop Bomb, Pliny the Younger, and the monk brewed Westvleteren 12. Westvleteren 12. Heady Topper. A uniquely balanced 8% alcohol IPA that, despite an aroma bursting with hops, is not an aggressively bitter beer.
Now, it actually was sold here for a little bit, I read. And then they've got like weird distribution /
Do I need to finish the sipping?
No, you do not.
Okay.
Not at all. You can just put that down. That's just your starter beer.
I don't want
Put it down.
to be lost in front of
So
a mountain of...
No, it's fine. Well, because
beers in front
normally
of me.
we would be, and I should tell our guests that we normally would just pour them into the tasting glasses.
Oh,
But
I remember this setup. I remember when you got that.
But as the brewer said, Heady Topper dies as soon as it is poured into a glass. All that carbonation coming out, the CO2 escaping, the aroma, the hop essence, when you drink it out of the can, the beer is perfectly preserved. There's a layer of CO2 riding through the can. When you pour the beer into an empty glass, you're immediately accelerating the expulsion of all that goodness. And that's a lot of words.
I've heard this before. I've heard that the glassware or the vessel that you drink a drink out of has a lot to do with the intended flavor of the beverage that you're consuming. So take it from the brewer themselves, how they recommend you drink their beer. Please do it that way. Don't say like, well, I pour all my drinks in the glasses. You might be destroying the effect that they were trying to recreate. It's like putting too much equalizer on your music. You know, the music was recorded by the artist to be heard a certain way. And if you put it through a sound system and you crank up the bass too high or the treble too high, you're literally altering what this person was creating for you. So
this is the most intelligent episode of crafted commentary we've ever had.
Didn't know if you were expecting this.
No, cheers.
Here you go.
So, that's a lot to live up to. Pliny the Younger.
Oh yeah.
It had its own Twitter
It
handle.
keeps it in the can.
It's
I feel like I inhaled some CO2 before it hit my
It's
tongue.
really freaking good.
I like that.
I had one of these before because, as I mentioned, Yui had sent me a box also. So I got the box from Dan at Rome and the box from Yui. $45 for a 4-pack on eBay right now. I looked.
$45 for a 4-pack?
Yeah, I could have made money.
Let me tell you if it's worth it.
Is it worth $45?
If you live in a craft beer desert, I don't know, I might be calling out the wrong places. New Mexico, Western Texas, it's worth the $45 for.
I've never been to those places, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
We live in, by the way, we're in San Diego. You should know that. But we live in the land of IPAs here.
Yeah.
But this is a good one.
We got the golden ring of IPAs. We're
IPAs
running around with it.
We bathe in hops here. Literally, it's just bathe.
No chlorine in our water,
No,
just hops.
Hops.
Yeah,
Hops come out of the
Yes.
fountains, just Scrooge McDuck style.
It's amazing.
Scrooge McDuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Scrooge in the bowl.
Oh yeah.
It's very good. This is actually, it's funny.
Hop tails.
Living here. Oh gosh, and I blew it. So
What'd you blow?
I was supposed to put on our snowboard goggles, our drinking goggles.
Oh, it's not that cold out.
I know. Winter's coming.
So, all right. I just want to get the functionality down. I know this is an early episode, so you're still figuring out your routine. So we got the water, which is when you need it. The sipping beer. So
That's just to
does
start
this
off.
mean I have to like?
No.
Can there be 2 sipping beers, or is this like a
Move it to the
quick?
side because we're gonna get through all 3 beers.
Oh, so I need to. So when the other beer comes out, the sipping beer needs to go.
No. You just slide it off to the side. We don't have like staff. There's no staff here.
I mean, like not go, but like consumed.
No. It's fine.
Like speed up. Okay.
No.
I don't want to waste anything.
Well, we can drink them tonight.
I'm going to compare these two.
We
The
can
Belching
drink-
Beaver to the Heady Topper.
Yeah, we can. Oh, the Belching Beaver's an easy. What do you call it? Not an easy IPA. A session IPA.
This is sessionable?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says here though that where was that bitter oh yeah, it's not an aggressively bitter beer.
No, and it's a hazy IPA.
How far we've come from what was it, the old Keystone Light commercials, bitter beer face, to like bitter is actually
I never
not
even
a bad
thought about
thing.
that. Like, yeah, like why don't you want bitter beer? Wow.
I think it's because the demographic they advertised the Keystone Light Never Bitter Beer Face to was college guys, right? And we wanted to be looking like, oh, I can drink beer all day and night and never get like grossed out by it. We didn't know at the time. We were too young.
I would. Was Milwaukee's Best Ice a thing when you were there?
Beast.
Justin and I both went to college in upstate New York. So
We're Labatt Blue country.
Love it.
That was a fine dining beer.
Love it.
Other than that, it was Jenny and Keystone. But if you had Labatt Blue, you were a, ooh, you're having a fancy party.
Oh yeah, you got some money.
You ordered the Pizza Hut that night instead of the frozen baked.
It's like someone brought Killian's over. Labatt Blue, Labatt Ice, Labatt Blue Light.
I don't understand. Oh, I had a ice beer from Modern Times. Not to like.
Yeah, I saw
too many brands out
back.
there.
No, it's brand.
But I like it. I had it at their brewery, and then I found it. I was in Big Bear. I was in Big Bear last weekend, and they had it on tap at a barbecue joint I was having dinner at.
I saw it. I had a can. I didn't love it.
Hmm.
And is it the same ice beer as when we were younger, or is it just?
Yeah, it's like an iced, a lighter iced beer, which is, you know, it tastes fine. Like,
and it's fine as a.
you feel like you can drink 30 of them, or if you're driving that night and you got to keep yourself on the limit, it's a safe choice.
Good call.
So if you're having a 2-hour dinner and you want to have a beer, you can go with that 4.2%.
Yes. We would never recommend doing that though, because we're not those guys.
Right.
Yeah. We're responsible.
Mountain rules.
Mountain rules.
Different.
So speaking of Big Bear, super fun, I bet. Earned beers. I think there's nothing better than the beers you have after you do something. When you and I get off the mountain, or at lunch on the mountain, maybe, or in the parking lot of the mountain.
How many times have you had a full meal at the mountain? I guess you do. You guys get the plates of meat.
I got a plate of meat.
I just skip all that.
Usually have a meat bar. Depends. Now that we got Ollie Dog, we'll...
Yeah, he needs the break. He needs the barbecue there.
But,
skirt steak.
yeah, you know, feeling those beers are well-earned beers, I feel like, are great. So let's have beer number 2.
Whoa, we're moving fast. I'm only 3 sips into this one.
It's all right.
Was that Ollie? It smells horrendous.
It's not me.
It's all good. We can cut that out later.
Well, they can't smell it. It's audio.
The future, guys. Be careful. Coming at you.
Yeah, that camera it's not that good a camera.
3D set.
iPhone 8. The new... What's it called? Olfactory.
The iPhone XS smell. The S stands for stink.
Okay. Best and worst episode ever. Oh, so that leads into what Justin had was rad. But let me get another beer first.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is on deck? We are now up to...
move this empty here. Okay, we're good.
So, and by the way, I think the beer heads will be jealous that we got this. It's very hard to come by.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous to even open another beer while this can is still open. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with all that, man.
Yeah.
It's totally good.
It's fine.
Totally good.
So
on further news, you were mentioning earning your turns. No,
yes.
I can.
Or earning my beers, but.
Okay, earning your beers, right?
Yeah.
So when you're doing your activity like skiing or running or weightlifting or shelf hanging, like, do you give yourself a score to be like, oh, I've earned 2 beers? Like, oh, this is a 3 beer sesh. Like, at what? Do you score? Do you rank it, or are you just like, I did some stuff, I'm going to drink beers, and it's not determinate how many beers you get based on what you did. You're just like, I've earned some beers. How many?
Not consciously, but I think the endorphin factor for what I did that day will lead to having more beers.
Totally, man.
So if we had like a crazy power today, or rode really hard, man, I'm feeling good, and I want to keep that feeling going, and I'll keep drinking more beer. If I ran 3 miles, I'm not like, yeah, I need beer. It's like,
Right.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if I run 3 miles, I'll probably have a beer.
Mm.
I never thought about ranking the runs for beers. With my mountain bike friends, we call them taco rides. So when we do a ride, you get 1 taco for simply showing up. Because we always get tacos after our mountain bike ride. So it'll be like 1 taco for showing up. And then we like set some loose rules that said like, for every 5 miles of riding, you've earned another taco. And for every 500 feet of incline, you earn another taco. So like on a solid like 15-mile ride with about 1,200 feet of incline, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 taco ride. We're not talking like big. We're talking street tacos.
Okay.
We'll go to like Tacos El Gordo or
Do
something.
people know what street tacos are? Who are in San
They're
Diego?
about a little. They're like the largest size sand dollar you've ever seen at the beach. But
Smaller than what you'd get at Taco Bell.
exactly. Yeah. Smaller than what.
And they're soft tacos.
Yeah. With like a spoonful, like a heaping tablespoonful of meat on it. So most of my mountain bike rides are between 5 and 7 taco rides. And we always give a bonus taco out for whoever was the fastest up the hills and that kind of thing. So you can earn extra tacos.
I have a new question concerning tacos. My first experience with Mexican food was Taco Bell in upstate New York.
Nice.
I don't know where yours
I'm
was,
sorry for you.
but Yeah,
No,
it's
we actually had a Mexican restaurant in Harrisburg,
Byrne
Pennsylvania.
family was not real adventurous on Long Island. So, hard tacos, I've never seen outside of Taco Bell. Is that a thing?
They exist.
Yeah?
Yeah. We used to make them at home all the time.
Right. Okay, yes. Or the supermarket.
Yeah.
But if we maybe wind up at the taco stand later tonight,
Yeah.
they're gonna have hard tacos?
Yes.
Really?
You gotta ask for them. They're there. They're on the menu. It's always like, most of the time people order tacos, you're getting soft shell tacos. That's how they make them. But it's like, you can get hard shell tacos at most of the spots here in Pacific Beach.
Really?
Absolutely.
Never realized that.
Absolutely. Like, I like them because I like the crunch. It's usually like heaping scoop of lettuce on top of like some shredded chicken is my go-to.
It's like oxidized oils and crap like that.
Love it. Give it to me. I've earned it.
Earn your tacos.
Earned my tacos.
I'd
I'd rather the oil be oxidized before it's in me. I'm not a scientist.
I don't know if that's where's Megan. So I was gonna so getting back to smell-o-vision, tech improvements.
So far to go with technology.
You love it, you hate it. This is your rad. So I should have said that earlier.
Oh, I'm on to my, okay.
Part of crafted commentaries, we talk about what's rad and what's sad in the world around us.
Earned beers.
Earned beers, definitely.
Rad. Because no one can take those away from you.
No. You look like I'm not.
I don't know where I'm looking.
One or the other. You can look at me. It's cool.
No one can take an earned beer away from you.
No.
You've earned it. Whether you cash in on it right away is up to you.
Oh yeah, wait. Is there a
Expiration date? Absolutely
Yes.
not.
no
No.
timeout? We rode our butts off today mountain biking.
Yep. I had something to do right after. I couldn't hang out. I went home. Next Friday, I'm like, hey, I never got my beers from
But
last
those
weekend. Let's go
endorphins
do
are
it.
gone. You're thinking like
But
it's not like vacation time.
no one should operate at a deficit.
I don't know what that means.
Well, okay. So the beers you earn while your endorphins are going don't matter. You're drinking the beer anyway. Endorphins or not, it's going to have essentially the same effect on you.
Okay.
So mentally, physically, who knows? Can only speak from one perspective.
You know what I do like about this beer too? I think marketing does matter in beers. I don't love their logo. That's up to them, but there's a lot of text on the back. And that's cool.
It's a beer to drink while you're sitting on the toilet.
Or the porch.
Or the porch.
Or alone.
Or when the internet's down.
Or getting back to technology.
Tech improvements.
Without technology, we would not have found out that there was a Twitter account dedicated to finding Heady Topper.
You wouldn't have the ability to record a podcast in your own living room
No.
without technology.
Or
Accessible technology.
Accessible.
Technology has
That's
existed
a
for
better
years,
thing.
but you couldn't just afford it and put it inside your own house.
I actually went to college for television communications, and I
Yeah.
used to shoot in a studio with a giant camera, and now half that stuff we can do on the iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, $600.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. It's not crazy. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Except when it doesn't work, that kills me.
Because we depend on it so quickly. We assume it's always going to be there.
But I feel like sometimes we upgrade it too soon, and it doesn't really. If it's not working right yet, we keep advancing it. And I could be wrong with that.
Early adopters,
yes,
are necessary to find those issues, right? The early adopters just happen to be the most vocal.
They are.
What do you got?
All right. So next on deck, Brow.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Frost Beer Works. I know. So this is another one from Dan Sullivan at Rome Snowboards, Sully. Oh, and I should have mentioned too that Josh had sent us a hat that says Ollie Ropes on it. This is the new. It's coming out next year.
Josh
from Rome Snowboards.
Oh, perfect.
And my wife.
Rome SDS?
Rome SDS.
They love the clock tower.
They do love the clock tower there. They voted the clock tower one of the top dive bars in the country, I believe.
Send them another shot ski board. They only have one. They can't use it because it has a plaque on it. We need another one for the clock tower in Mammoth.
Truth. And maybe a snowboard for Kyler too. But
he likes backpacks, dude.
I got him a backpack. So it says Ollie Ropes on it. I love it because of the idea of snowboarding and jumping ropes, especially in the early days. And my wife loves it because the dog is named Ollie after
Love it.
jumping your board off the ground.
Love it.
And she wears it a lot.
Love it.
So this is the Frost Plush Double IPA. To start with, I love everything named about this beer. I love the name Frost. It's very East Coast Vermont.
Frost.
The word plush sounds awesome as well. Double IPA sounds awesome. Now, from what I can tell, Frost from Heinsberg, Vermont, or Hinsberg, not sure. Probably not as big a brewery as the guys at Alchemist. I'm gonna base that on the label. It might be a sticker.
It's okay.
I'll just say no. It's definitely great. So, all our friends in San Diego or people not even in New England, you probably never had this. So, sorry.
Yeah, give me location details here and everything.
It's just Heinsberg, Vermont.
Where is that on the map?
Oh, we can go look at the iPad.
Whoa, technology.
Technology, so good.
We don't know the answer to that.
Let's go find it.
Technology. Siri. Where is Heinsberg,
Oh, this
Vermont?
is old. This is the iPad 2.
Oh, so what I mean is our dependence, how it quickly rises. The number of times I'm in a situation and I just wish my Amazon Echo was so close to me to just shout out the question, and that lovely little voice tunes in with some form of an answer, not always the answer you want, but it gives you something worth.
Totally.
Most of the time, it can at least explore the idea for you.
When I still wait,
we got a map.
Darn it! When I moved here, I would still carry around a map in the car when I was looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And I would write down directions, and now I don't do.
Gotta know where everything is. Ooh, it's loading the maps.
Slowly.
We're gonna do this.
And this
Here
is
we
the
are.
bar that-
Oh, there's a Heinsberg Town Forest.
It's near.
Oh, it's
Shelburne.
just south of Burlington. Okay.
Oh, is it? And that makes
Yep,
sense.
yep.
Rome is in Waterbury, not too far from Burlington.
There's Plattsburgh, right across
Is that a
the
lake?
yeah,
It's a beautiful looking lake.
partially a river.
It's a river? You think it's a river?
I think it is part of the. I think that eventually becomes the Hudson River, doesn't it? Ticonderoga is right there too.
All right. I've heard of that.
It's Vermont and New York.
Right on the border.
Got it.
See, now if we lived,
Now we know.
If we still lived there.
That's way up
Oh,
there too.
that is. Never
I've
mind.
been to Montreal as well.
I was gonna say going to Mount Snow would cut through, but that's
No,
high.
Mount Snow's
It's
south
way,
of there, yeah. Burlington's
way too high.
north. Cool.
So I'm gonna find out about Heinsberg.
I'm gonna smell this plush beer real quick.
Smell it. What a great.
It's got a lot going on because you can't really smell the beer in the can too well. It's all about the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like
So as you take, well,
it smells like something I want to put into like a body lotion and rub on my face or like my arms or something. Like it's something I want to smell right before I fall asleep.
And truth be told, we've probably had a few beers before we've fallen asleep.
Definitely. But it smells like just want to like, all right, I'm ready for bed, and then you go to lay it on the pillow and you smell this.
For those not watching, Justin rubbed my shoulder.
Fruity aroma.
So the description they gave us, meaning the internet, Plush is a double IPA that lays a soft mouthfeel. What does that mean? And intense juiciness on your palate. A diverse blend of 5 different hop varieties and slightly modified grain build differentiates this beer from Lush, which is another beer they make.
It actually says, what does it say? Pour?
Oh, and that's the other guys.
Oh.
Sorry.
Got it. So soft mouthfeel just means it doesn't make you like tense up. It kind of like relaxes you. It's like,
I'm going to be honest. Is that really what a soft mouthfeel
I mean, that's my interpretation of it. And I think the reason why it's not defined is that's what it says.
Now I'm going to Google soft mouthfeel. And hopefully it's not going to be a...
Do you have safe search turned on?
I don't have
Speaking of technology.
Definition. Mouthfeel is the physical sensation a food or drink creates in the mouth, including the tongue and the roof of the mouth. It is different from taste or flavor. I don't know. I still don't know what that means.
To me, it's like when it feels, it's just like it's like coating. It's like eating a Starburst. Where you're just like, like he says, that gives that juiciness, and you're just kind of like really relaxed. So you almost can't talk after you take a sip of it because your mouth is just like soft. I feel like you lose control of your insides.
Wow. Another 8%er. Yeah. So strong.
Will we walk home after this one?
Oh, definitely walking home. But these are beers that, I feel like we would definitely be okay having them after a tough day on the hill.
Absolutely.
Like start crushing.
Like on the hill.
Probably. Oh, they're in cans.
Gondola beer. Yeah, if they're in a can, they're gondola beer.
Oh, yeah. Gondola beers.
I know there's no like rule saying you can do that, but there's no rule saying you can't do that.
Gondola beer at your own discretion.
Yeah. Check with your local mountain authorities.
Yes, and over 21.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
How'd you get it if you're not 21?
Yeah, please.
Criminals.
Dummies. Wait your turn. But technology. So
yeah, technology can make a beer can that couldn't be opened by someone who's not 21.
Oof, that'd be huge.
How could we do carbon date their fingers? I don't know if that works like that. I don't think it works like that.
Well, they were talking about trying to do that with firearms. Like, you can't... It's got to have your thumbprint.
Oh, sure. I don't want a national registry of thumbprints, though.
Don't we have that?
Not really. Only if you voluntarily give it up. Anyway, technology.
Really? No, technology overall I think is rad. Like one of those comedians said, like, your smartphone is smart, it's you that's dumb. Like,
yeah,
it causes more benefits than problems. I do miss sometimes being able to unplug.
It causes bigger problems.
It can.
But it causes bigger solutions.
Yes.
And the solutions always outweigh that problem. So like, as you say, like you can't unplug. You can put it in airplane mode.
Yeah.
But the solution that the smartphone is giving you outweighs the problem it's causing, even if the problem it's causing is bigger than any problem you've had before.
But like, so with my job in marketing, and I know your job to an extent it's come up, being able to connect all the time means often I'm connected all the time. Whether if you like a server goes down,
sure,
something like that.
Internet never turns off.
Right, but if my phone's broken,
right,
like, and I've had that happen. You've had that happen too, where you lost your phone somewhere.
Sure.
Or I've had my phone break, or the internet break, or in my apartment condo. That causes drama. Whereas there were times when you just weren't expected to be on point.
Yeah.
But also, I think there were times too when, like, maybe you didn't have to monitor servers, or you couldn't monitor them remotely.
Yeah,
so you had to be there.
That comes with the territory, right? Well, we live in a time where you don't need to be next to the physical device, the server, as it were. to maintain it. So I literally can be anywhere. I can use my smartphone wherever I go to aid my software development, my consumer internet products.
You had actually mentioned to me self-driving cars in your email, and
as an example of technology that is that feels like it'll be difficult to embrace.
I'm all about it
for a lot of people, but the lasting effects of it will be world changing.
I am all about it. Using Mammoth is a great example. You and I go to Mammoth. Rarely are we in the same car, but there's always passengers. So, one, people are used to being passengers.
Yeah. Everyone's been a passenger.
While I love driving that road, I'm jealous sometimes of the passengers that get to get their work done. Because we often...
on the way to
on the way there.
The 395.
Because you and I often...
The Sierra Scenic Byway.
Great book.
Love that book.
Coming soon to Crafted Commentary.
Book recommendations.
I was going to say Beers of the Sierra. Or book... Sure, that too. But yeah, so... Going up on a Tuesday afternoon, not as hard if I can just... I'd go alone and just plug in the computer and work. I would do that if there's a train.
Yeah.
Also, we don't have a lot of trains here.
No, and the buses take about 22 hours.
We looked into that.
Yeah, I did look into that. I've had the luxury of being a passenger once each of the past 2 seasons for the winter. The first time I was a passenger in a car with only the driver, and in that scenario, you're like compelled to spend time like entertaining the driver, being present, like, you know, driver asks a question, you answer it. That's usually the role of the person in the front seat, right? So if there's only 2 of you in the car, you're in the front seat, you kind of got a responsibility to keep the driver alert, point out landmarks, look up history of items you're driving by, that kind of thing. That's what I want when I'm driving the car. I want my passenger to be like, hey, oh, look at that sign, like this is a historical point. I'm like, okay. This past year when I went up Avalanche weekend, I was a passenger in a car with 4 people in it. So I was in the back seat, out in the corner. I was able to relax, snooze, read all the internet articles I wanted, to listen to whatever music I wanted. Like I had my earplugs in, listen to podcasts, you name it. I really enjoyed that, and to me, that's the experience of a self-driving car.
As a driver, this is totally off the subject. You want to be engaged?
When I'm driving?
Yeah.
Engaged in driving?
No,
or engaged in the people around me?
Yeah.
I need loosely to know that everyone's, first off, feeling okay. We don't need bathroom breaks. Bellies are full. Everyone's comfortable. They feel safe. The music is good. I actually don't care if the music is good because I'm picking it. I'm the driver. But I just want to know that everyone is pumped. And I, as a driver on my way to Mammoth, I do my best to, if people don't go as much as we do, I do my best to point out things, be like, hey, look at that. I can't. Tell me what it looks like. Like, make them feel like they're a part of this adventure.
And you and I probably go snowboarding or skiing more than the average bear.
Enough. Yes.
Yeah.
Regulars.
Which is no small feat when Mammoth is, depending on who you talk to, 5 to 7 hours away.
Yep.
For
me, it's 7.
Yeah.
I don't know who can do it in 5. People say they can. I doubt it.
This is a topic for another episode. You do it in 5. No one goes to the bathroom. You don't account for anything.
Yeah, if you're doing it in 5, I probably want to trust you to hold a carton of eggs. You're reckless.
No, and you've also got to count the time. Like, hey, if you stop for gas, that counts against your 5 hours. The clock doesn't stop.
Right, rolling time, like when you do actual rolling time, it's 6 hours flat.
That's a great way to describe it.
6 hours flat rolling.
Yeah.
But the stops, you're looking at 6:30 to 7.
You know, so me driving, I like driving with the dog.
Yeah.
Dog, he's got to go to the bathroom, but he'll hold it.
Does he just lay down the whole time, or is he like one of those dogs who's like up, looking out the window, sniffing?
He lays down most of it. For those that can't see, he's between my legs now, just sniffing. That sounded awful.
Like a dog?
Like a dog.
They see with their noses.
It's not a bat.
They see with their noses.
He He's gonna sleep the whole time.
He's not bats see with their noses.
Well, the 2 bats I haven't. He doesn't complain about the music.
Those are cats.
Don't have to worry. Cats, bats. Ben's looking weird right now. Anyway, so technology. Technology is awesome. Dude, DPS skis came out with those no wax skis. That's incredible.
Yeah. You consider okay.
Technology is technology. But
That
yeah,
is
you and I were talking
technology.
about electronics.
It solves a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it solves a problem and it's using a concept that isn't just found, like you can't just walk through the forest, find a log, and be like, oh, I can chisel this into an axe, right? That's primitive technology. The technology we're starting to see is we're taking like, you know, chemistry, physics, electronics, we're putting them all together with now the communication networks we have to be like, we can accelerate the progress of now what DPS is solution, right? Now, they didn't just come up with a material they're like, we're setting out to make a material that never needs to be waxed and works forever. No, more than likely, there's a lab somewhere that was putting together compounds and they found something with a certain set of properties. DPS gets a hold of this and they're like, we like this, let's work on this. Let's make this better and apply it to our intended need. And that is no wax.
I truly have no idea.
Evermore.
It's amazing they're the first because they're not a big ski company.
No.
Versus like K2 or...
Right.
Who's a big ski company?
Solomon.
Vocal.
Yeah.
Old school.
K2.
K2.
You said K2. Atomic.
Are they still around?
Yeah.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Alright. But then also like, hey, technology lets us check an email from the chairlift. It lets us go skiing during the week.
Your boss doesn't know you're on the chairlift.
Which we
if he's
don't
used to not responding.
Ever.
Wait, who here is a boss?
All my clients are my bosses.
Yeah.
That's
the thing they don't tell you about entrepreneurs. It's not that we don't have bosses, we have many bosses.
That's true. Alright, so
most people have the luxury of saying one boss.
Yeah. Luxury, people. Entrepreneurship can be interesting.
How's that mouth feel?
The mouthfeel of my many, many bosses?
Yeah. Is it soft?
Like cigarettes. So what's sad? Here's my deal.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, more? We're talking about technology?
No. Well, we're just going to put that out as the underlying effect. Anytime you have me on here, I'm going to give my insights on what technology can do. So if you ever have a question on, hey, there's this piece of technology that's involved in something I'm doing, or why isn't there a piece of technology that does this? It seems so simple to do. Why isn't there technology that does that? And I can help explain a lot of that. Pay attention to those parts.
Do you know that I used to do PR for some big technology companies?
IBM?
LG?
LG?
This is going to go on my LinkedIn profile. I'll post it later. The worst PR hit of my life was on the LG Internet refrigerator in 1998, where there's an article that says, Internet fridge leaves me out cold.
Oh.
And the thing was a piece of garbage.
That was when that AOL dial-up inside the refrigerator?
Not quite, but close to it. And, you know, one of the real issues is that, like, it was just a laptop slammed into your fridge.
You had to email it for an ice cube.
And you get into, like, why would I want that? It wasn't the level of, like, hey, you're low on milk, it'll order you milk. Because that wasn't even a thing. And right now they're talking about, like, voice-controlled microwaves. Great, except I've still got to put the food in the microwave. So if I'm there, beep, 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 I'll just hit the buttons.
Got it.
But if I could say, microwave, make Justin and I some popcorn. And popcorn somehow made it to the microwave.
Finds its way into the microwave, like through some mechanism. Yeah, a little
like
robot.
Star Trek stuff. Like, then yes, then I'm.
Well, they were making replicators. They wouldn't make popcorn kernels. I mean, maybe they would, but I think it would just replicate popcorn already popped and hand it to you.
I think the goal as a society is Star Trek, basically what they did.
Yeah, they had a lot going on that we're far away from.
They didn't complain at all about the popcorn being burnt. Or even tasting weird.
It would never be burnt.
No.
What a future.
Yeah.
Popcorn that's never burnt?
Although no one was fat on that show.
No.
They were all in those uniforms that were like wetsuits.
Yeah.
Starfleet's like in shape.
Yeah, they had a lot of rules. And the food they replicate, right? Imagine like, I want a cheeseburger. But then you get to say 50 calories or 500 calories. And it looks the same. So it fills you up the same. And tastes the same. I don't know. We're getting off.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's what I imagine the Star Trek food thing being like.
Utopian society.
I have an addiction to food, so like my ideal future would be like, I want a 50 cal, Five Guys, triple stack burger that fills me up just the same as whatever it is they're making today that you can't eat every day.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing.
It does.
I don't eat Five Guys. I should have gotten that today. All right. So we mentioned our friend Kyler at Clock Tower, and I feel pretty passionately about the way people treat, I don't like the word servers, but bartenders, whatever. And there's a couple reasons about that. It is their job to serve us, if you will, but they're humans. Like they're not your paid S&M slave. Like you don't get to go to a restaurant to treat them like. To whip them. Right, that's not the thing.
No.
And also, guys that go to bars and women, when it gets crowded, they can be your best friend. Like you're sitting there holding out your money, you just want 2 more beers, whatever. They're going to remember who was a jerk and who wasn't when the bar was empty. So, ask them how their day is, tip them, tell them you like their shirt.
Be a familiar, friendly face.
Be a friendly face.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, how's it going? What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Ask for a recommendation.
Right. They get stressed out too, you know?
Yeah.
And if you're looking at a crowd of people that want something from you, and you just kind of scan the room, who are you going to go to first? You're like,
Oh, God, I didn't even think about that. They're behind that bar looking out into the sea of...
The perspective of a bartender?
That's got to be like a rock star, except people aren't there to worship you. They're there to be like, hey, give me...
They're trying to hire you to give them a drink.
Give me this. Yeah. Waving the dollar.
And you got the power as a bartender.
You do. But you also can't escape. Like, you can't, like, storm off. Wow. Heavy.
Yeah.
Speaking of heavy, I'm going to pour the last beer.
You should.
The Lawson's...
That just made me sad.
No, don't be sad.
It makes me feel sad.
The ones we know enjoy.
Because it's like they have rough days, and the remarkable thing about your professional, great bartenders, like I'm talking the kind of like bar that has the foot traffic at the club or something that has so many people. Those are the ones that be like, I know you, I recognize you, and they will. If they only have literally 10 seconds to serve each patron, because if they're not doing each patron in 10 seconds to 30 seconds, they're making a bad product. They will still take that 5 seconds to acknowledge you, to give you that little nod and be like, yep, got you next. They'll do that, and they professionally continue their job, go down that line. No one waits longer than 5 minutes at even the busiest bars, and that's the sign of a truly professional bartender.
Well, like other industries, there's people that are good at their job.
Yeah.
And bad software engineering. There's people that can code. There's people that can code.
There are programmers who can program as much as 10 programmers, and those are the ones that are worth it. It's like a bar. You put one person behind a bar. You're like, it's a busy night. You got your A squad. They're gonna move. They're gonna move product for you faster than 10 times faster than anyone else.
Hey, Megan's here.
Whoa!
My wife just showed up, and now the dog's all about her.
Oh, she brought us more sipping beers.
I don't think she did.
Still water.
Oh. So the last beer, this is also from...
Oh, I just took your mic out.
Thanks, Ollie. Hopefully it's still plugged in. Dan Sully Sullivan of the Rome SDS.
Number 3?
Number 3.
Well, because we're not counting the sipping beer.
The water? Oh no, the Belching Beaver? No.
Oh, I'm on the water.
This is a Sip of Sunshine IPA.
Yeah!
By Lawson's Finest Liquids in Stratford, Connecticut.
Stratford, Connecticut.
You know where that is?
That's not where our friend, mutual friend,
Tomac?
Tomac is from.
Where's he from?
Hartford, I think. Hartford, Connecticut.
If you say it with enthusiasm, does that mean...
Makes it more believable.
Yeah.
It's a place.
Oh, I'm aware it's a place. Wow, I'm going to let you read that description.
All right. So I'm looking at a yellow can with blue text that says "Sip of Sunshine," a beautiful, artsy, probably tattoo-worthy rendition of the sun.
Time out. Tattoo worthy if you're like a Vermont person.
I would get that on. I would see that on a wrist, probably, or an ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like a hippie. Like
Absolutely.
you follow fish.
In that exact color. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. It's got some seagulls around it too.
Is that a... That's not a... It's more
Clearly a bird.
like a sperm.
Mm.
Oh, wait, that's a seagull. Okay.
Lawson's Finest Liquid in Stratford, Connecticut. This is the Sip of Sunshine IPA. Comes in at 8% ABV. This lupulin laden India Pale Ale is packed with a juicy tropical
Latin or
character.
Latin?
Lupulin Latin.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm Pennsylvania Dutch. Bright floral aromas and delectable layers of hop flavor. Pour mindfully. Inhale deeply and enjoy a tropical vacation in a glass. Always store it cold, enjoy fresh, and stay cool.
Wow.
To note, he says, or she, whoever wrote this, the brewer, in a glass. Whereas, if you recall, our alchemist said, take it from the can.
Can you be the guest every week on Crafted Commentary?
Take it from the brewer. They
Wow.
know what's up.
They're
They're literally going to tell you how to enjoy their beer. And you are the wrong type of person if you go against that. It's like following a recipe. If you can't follow the recipe, you're never going to bake a cake. Baking a cake is easy. Just follow the recipe.
And they actually have that description on the can.
Nice.
I did look up where this is. It's near Vermont. They say Warren, Vermont here, but it said Stratford.
Did they get the hops?
They might have moved. I think they moved. I'm not sure. Oh wait. So yeah, small
Warren, Vermont.
located in Warren, Vermont, and then brewed by Lawson's Finest Liquids at Two Roads Brewing in Stratford, Connecticut. I'm confused.
Whoa. They definitely have
That's,
2 town names on their beer can.
They
That's
do.
all right. That's all right. Hey, they're claiming it. They're taking that whole northern.
and I like their little logo. Notice it's of the brewer. He's got like his hat and his lettuce hair coming out the bottom. It's good. It's very Vermonty of a look to
Is
it.
this it right here?
This is it right here.
Let's go for it.
Another hazy IPA, I would guess.
Yeah, I don't really consider that a hazy one, but
Well, I can't see my hand through it.
it's not the definition of hazy, but
Are you sure?
I'm not sure if anything.
I think you might make it. I think that is the definition of hazy. Let's look up the definition of hazy IPA.
It's a different brewing process altogether.
No, well, that's something I know has come up.
It's not an unfiltered, filtered thing.
Well, there's some.
That's the common misconception.
There are brewers early on the West Coast, so a lot of the more, that's what I'm looking for, technical podcasts on brewing hated hazy IPAs because guys would just throw flour into the
Oh,
to
right.
make it look hazy.
Yeah. But that would precipitate over time, whereas the real hazy won't. It'll stay cloudy.
I'm gonna tell you right now that looking up what a hazy IPA is does not make for a good podcast.
Nope.
So I'll let that
Another day.
as we stare at the iPad.
That's some technology that I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh, and that's an issue with technology. Is people that just sit on their phones all day.
Right? Ooh, I'm gonna answer this.
What it comes down to, what that really says is that who they're around is not that interesting, or they're looking for something else. Do we see anything good on it?
Yeast strains that don't readily flocculate.
Flocculate.
The yeast does not sink to the bottom, it precipitate.
So the yeast floats around the beer,
Mm-hmm.
possibly.
Late hop addition. So all these things can make them hazy. I don't know I think a lot of people just put the hazy on it because you can't see through it, and it's just a catch term.
And we should love these because these beers can be made using extreme dry hopping.
It's like a rad new music style.
Like we're extreme. Like we mountain bike. We our lives are basically a Mountain Dew commercial from the 90s.
My life is hazy.
Hazy.
Hazy, bro.
Hazy, bro.
That is hazy.
Hazy.
Why would you say that?
I used to drink so much Mountain Dew.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like skateboarding, we got.
Wait, you brought it for refreshment?
No, it was there. It was free. Well, we did.
Why was it? Wait, free Mountain Dew?
Well, we'd skate at the Taco Bell on Comac, Long Island, and the girls would keep refilling our cup with Mountain Dew.
What girls? Wait a minute.
The ones that worked at the Taco Bell.
The Taco. Okay, so you got Mountain Dew.
The women. They were women.
From the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
While you were skateboarding, was it did they instruct them to be like, hey, keep giving the skaters Mountain Dew? It's a Red Bull thing before Red Bull was a thing?
It's like they were our buddies.
Okay, got it.
They would hook it up.
Because Mountain Dew in the software development world was what every software developer was known as, the guy that spent every night until 4 o'clock in the morning drinking Mountain Dew and writing computer code.
Yeah, because they didn't drink coffee, right? They drank Mountain Dew.
We didn't drink coffee, we drank Mountain Dew. And then they came out with the Code Red Mountain Dews in the early 2000s and all that. I never got into that. I couldn't do it. Caffeine, still blows my mind when I have it. And Mountain Dew is way too much.
You and I... Hi, dog. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do. One, Justin and I, getting back to the technology conversation, resisted getting smartphones forever.
Resisted. I had a flip phone until 2013?
A while.
2012.
And then we got them.
Yeah, 2012 I got my first.
We did a coffee and bar crawl together.
Yep.
Meaning we drank a lot of coffee and drank a lot of beers back to back.
Well, it was all coffee and then ended with a beer. We earned our...
We did earn our beers by drinking literally 5 cups of coffee.
To 4 different coffee shops.
And then watched a surfing event on our smartphone.
Right, yeah. Kelly Slater at Pipeline, I believe it was at the time.
At Bub's Dive in Pacific Beach.
Yeah. And it was the first time I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Technology is a ride. Because when the first smartphone came out in 2007, 2008 was the first iPhone around that time. Even the first Androids, I was like, these aren't impressive yet. They're not I can't downstream movies on it or anything. It took 4 or 5 years for that to become a thing. Once that happened, once I could stream a surfing competition.
Let me turn the mic that my dog just turned. Yep.
Ollie's playing with the microphones. Good boy. There it goes again.
Oh yeah. Once it worked.
Once the internet became prolific enough that you could live stream a sporting event, obscure as surfing, which to people that love it are it's not obscure, but to the rest of the world, obscure.
Come on, it's obscure.
If it's on the internet and streamable to click at the button, I was like, whoa, this is something. And then Wi-Fi hotspots start showing up everywhere, your local bars. And you're like, wait a minute, I have this flip phone, it can't connect to Wi-Fi.
Now why can't I stream surfing? I get mad if I can't.
Now I get mad if I can't. I can go, as soon as I saw it, I was all like, wait a minute, I have a smartphone, I can open up a website just like my computer and stream a surfing event. I was like, Bill, we can do this. And you just set it up, stream it.
But at the time, we're at the bar, we're balancing our phone. It's oh my God, surfing's on the phone.
And we're 5,000 or 4,000 miles away from where it's happening, and we're watching it relatively live
on our phone. Do you know what these are?
That was the future.
These are my.
Those are happy lenses.
They are happy lenses, but they're also my beer goggles.
You got beer goggles on.
See what I did?
2 double IPAs and 1 single and a sipping beer.
Is this so this is also
regular
8%.
Yeah, but they call it a regular IPA.
So that's interesting. Do they mention the mouthfeel?
No. They say tropical juicy fruit character.
Lupulin laden. That's a mouthfeel there. So
coquettish.
So one of your sads was people missing the point of technology, which is great.
Yeah, so again, this is day 1. You're gonna get future me, I'm sure. Bill might invite me back, I don't know.
Definitely.
Feel free to Email,
Mouthfeel?
Instagram. How are you getting messages these days?
Oh, the website is craftedcommentary.com.
Craftedcommentary.com. You can
Everything's
say,
there.
hey, Bill, I need your tech guy, Justin, to answer some questions for me. Shoot him out there. We'll get back to them at a future episode if he invites me back. If not, I'm gonna beg him to give me like segments if you guys need it.
Maybe we can do like text if we get
Like-
more than 3 people listening. Like ask Justin.
Polish it
a tech
off,
question.
and then I could just be a little blurb at the end, or in the beginning, or in the
Yeah.
middle, whenever you got to capture their attention. We
I've
can
got-
do all that.
I've got tech questions for you.
I'd
for
love
sure.
it. You can't scare me with tech.
No,
I love tech.
it
Embrace it, love it.
It frustrates me. It's when it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, the Wi-Fi went down.
Yeah, but you know, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, people were mad when the radio went out.
That happened?
Yeah.
You sure?
You'd sit around with your family on a Tuesday night, listen to the radio broadcast of the radio stations down. You're like, oh man, what are we supposed to do? Nowadays, the Wi-Fi's out. Like, people have been experiencing these problems forever. Don't think this is a new thing. It's
I
just,
hear you. You know what gets me with the tech? People not reading the fine print.
no
It's
one
like,
reads the fine
oh,
print.
they don't. It's their own bad.
We're trusting.
We're trusting, but hey, you sign up for the Facebook, you get what you get.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't give them permission. Actually, you did.
You
It
did.
says it right there.
But in the end, the masses will turn on you if you do the wrong thing with it. So they're towing a line.
It's tough,
They're towing a line.
but it's a volunteer army being on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and unlike the army, you can just leave.
Right.
So,
If you're not paying for the service, you are the product. Remember that. They're making money off you.
wow, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about that.
Do other people say that, or you make that up?
Nope. Other people say that.
So yes. Yes, other people say that. And folks, I think anything you want to chime in, we're 3 double IPAs deep, or 2 double IPAs and 1 single IPA that's 8%. I don't know.
That's about the bottom line for single IPAs.
Yeah, the other guys are calling it
8.1, you're double.
Do you have anything you want to chime in about?
Send it
There's a
over.
lot. No, I mean you now.
Oh, on tech? Or on beers?
On anything. On my dog that looks like a raccoon.
No, your dogs are great. And to stick to the subject, though, I do want to chime on one thing that makes me sad. And that's a big subject change.
Yeah, well, do you want to save that for another episode?
We should say, people missing the point of technology.
Which is...
Not to make your life simpler, but to make your life more productive. Everyone's like, this should be so easy. I should be able to press a button and have this all happen. Totally true. Technology can do that. Yeah. End of the game, the end of the day, the end of the purpose is that you are able to produce more with less effort. Even if the small steps you're taking seem frustrating. A frustrating step today was insurmountable 10 years ago. And that's a big point of technology, I think, that you gotta sit back and comprehend once in a while. Incomprehensible 20 years ago, sitting in your living room, watching something on your TV from across the world live, like relatively live, right? Incomprehensible. You had to have a satellite dish in your backyard, tilted to the right angle. Like, that's just inaffordable to the masses. And now it's like, oh, I can put a DirecTV dish. Oh, but there's a cloud in the way, so it kind of frustrates me. But when things are going right, I'm able to do it.
And I'm sure you saw them in Pennsylvania. I saw them when I would drive through upstate New York. Like, there were homes with giant dishes.
Giant dish.
Not like the DirecTV dish that they have now, like huge. Like, like not that I could skateboard in, but the size of my kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
you could sleep in it in their backyards.
DirecTV used to require about an acre of land.
Antennas.
Antenna.
Dude, you and I were on a boat the other week in the middle of the ocean, and they had football
Football.
live.
Live.
while we're on a boat. No one watched it, but it was there.
It was there.
Flat screen TV.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget the point of technology.
And you're right. It's like wheels,
Mm-hmm.
not electronic technology, but they make life more convenient. They don't make it necessarily simpler. When the wheel fails, you're pissed.
Sucks for a minute.
Yeah. Whether that wheel's made of concrete or the wheel on your car.
Learn how to change a wheel.
Just think of like the BC cartoons with the guy.
Yeah.
Remember BC comic strip?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
The little
sure?
cavemen dudes
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
Sunday
yes.
newspaper.
They were on the wheel. There was a video game where they had the wheel, like a unicycle, and cruise around.
I like it.
I don't know where I'm going with that.
That's fine. No, what you're describing is a piece of technology that we're like, wow, this makes my life infinitely better. I can move X times more mass than I could carry myself across a greater distance. When the wheel breaks, life sucks. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
my wheel's broken. But don't forget all the time in between that wheel broken. If the mean time to failure is less than the amount of product you can move while it is working, that's a success of technology right there.
10 years
And everything
before,
from the wheel to the internet applies.
there was a time when you didn't have that wheel and you couldn't move those mats.
Right, you can move those mats.
Oh, my Google GPS went down.
Right.
Oh, there's a time you had the Thomas guide.
Great example, you just brought up GPS, right? So maybe, when did the first Garmin's come out? 10, 12 years ago, you started to get these like, stick them to your, to the windshield of your car, and you had a GPS, right? And you put it in an address, and it would guide you there, right? And it just said, I know a short distance between A and B, right? It didn't know traffic, it didn't know, and now I can turn on Waze or Google, and I put in an address, and it's like, oh, do you want to leave now? Or if you wait 30 minutes, your trip will be shorter. Or if you need to leave now, take this other route for a shorter commute. This is brilliant. And before we had all this tech that said the best times to go down a certain road, we had just a plain old GPS that took us away, and it'd take us away and you'd be stuck in traffic and be like, well, this stinks. This technology doesn't seem to be helping me. But that was all the other times it was helping you and making your life easier, and you just like all the benefits get crushed by one slip, and that's what hurts when I see that happen to technology. I'm like, oh, but it's just one little mistake. Like, it's getting better.
We don't remember that.
But
stuff.
don't forget all the times it did help you and make your life easier and make it so you didn't have to spend 5 minutes map questing the directions, printing them out before you got in your car, highlighting the pertinent terms.
Reading the map.
And now it's like, oh, it'll tell me on the way. Just get in the car and go. Boom, technology just helped you. Boom, technology helped you. Oh, it got you stuck in traffic this one time. It's okay.
And it can find you Heady Topper.
It can find you Heady Topper.
So with that, my friend Justin, I'm Bill. Crafted Commentary, Beers of Vermont.
I'm going for the Heady Topper. Thank you, Vermont.
Thank you, Dan Sullivan. Thank you, Reynolds, Josh Reed. We're out.
Love you guys.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out Crafted Commentary. It means a ton to me. If you want to suggest a beer, just drop me a line. craft@craftedcommentary.com. And if you really enjoyed it, share it with your friends and give us a rating. There's more info on the website, including other podcasts about business, life hacking, and pop culture. All those can be found through the website too, at craftedcommentary.com.